All right, guys. So now that you've kind of gotten an inside look on how I set up my Etsy store, I want to show you how you can start creating listings and setting up yours. So the first key here is to make sure that toward the end of the last video, I showed you how simple and easy it is to go on Etsy.com and set up your free Etsy store. So if you've done that, now I'm going to show you how to set up your listings. So the first thing is listings can be pretty tedious. There's a bunch of stuff that you have to put in, like input to show off, or it's actually pretty simple to be honest, but if you have a little budget set aside in your choice to start your own Etsy digital store, a great resource or gig that I found on Fiverr, I'm going to connect you with this person that I know named Emily, and Emily is my virtual assistant for helping me put my Etsy products on my store. I found Emily through Fiverr, and she did a great job putting up listings for me. So right here, I'm just showing you how you can kind of scale your Etsy digital business without really having to do much work. So you can just go on Fiverr.com and buy service from Emily or other sellers for 35 products. So you basically get the service of her posting 35 products to your Etsy store for $5. And of course, if you go to 50, you get $300, $100, you get 1,000 or 500. So that is always a great resource. And I'm going to leave a link in the description, like the course description, and feel free and make sure you mention Indian Genius sent you. That's my Fiverr username. You don't have to if you don't want to. But you might get some discounts. So anyway, I'm going to show you how now you can set up your own listings. So let's say that, earlier, if you remember, we found some free coloring books on, Wikimedia Commons. So I'm going to show you how I set up one of my other listings. So first, what you want to do is you type out the title of the product that you're selling. So the first part can be how you identify the product. That's what I always would recommend. So right here, you can say Kaleidoscope Coloring Book, or I can go ahead and change that to Animal Coloring Book. And then there's this other tool, which I really recommend, and it's called keywordtool.io. So keywordtool.io, what it does is, before I explain what it does, I need to explain the reason. So if you've kind of been curious right now of how exactly does your listing get found? How do you make sales? Who's actually clicking on your link? So it's actually the people that are searching for similar items. Like if someone's looking up a coloring book, maybe your product comes up, depending on this one thing. And that one thing, guys, is search engine optimization, or SEO for short. So SEO is basically how Google or any search engine, especially in this case Etsy, it pairs what you posted to what the users want. So how you can make sure that you're getting a good SEO ranking is what they call it. So when someone types in coloring book, so let me explain this. So for one of my businesses, right, I sell Legos, right? So Lego. So if someone on Etsy is looking up Lego, I'm going to show you of who's really doing a good job with with SEO. So let's just say bulk Lego, since we're getting a bunch of other random stuff. So bulk Lego. So right here, you can see, there's a few sellers here, all these other people. And here is me right here. This is really good, guys. This is how I've kind of started making $1,000 roughly every month on Etsy. And it's understanding one thing, and that is that search engine optimization. So SEO is kind of free traffic. You don't really have to pay for it. And for those of you that don't know the difference between free traffic and paid traffic, hang in there. I'm going to cover that in the next video. So SEO is basically free, and you can see right here it says ad. So what that means is these people are paying for me to actually see their listing. That can be a way for you to do it pretty well, but one free kind of long-term approach is having great SEO. So let's click on my listing to see how I ranked. So right here you can see that I have a good, like, title for the listing, like free shipping that causes people to click. 2,000 pieces, that's intriguing. That's a lot of pieces of Lego. And then once we scroll down to my description here, you can see how I have a bunch of word copy right here. And as you can see right here, I infused some keywords because this is what people search. And if you go on keywordtool.io, you'll see this thing called search volume, which basically shows how much are people searching for this. So what I do is if I'm selling a coloring book, I look up coloring books and I copy the first 10 keywords and I write a description which has those keywords in it. So right here, when someone looks up Lego, there's a great chance that they're typing in Batman or Star Wars or space or town. So I'm basically getting all of that, all of that traffic because I've included those words. The searchers of those words, there's a good chance that they're seeing my listing, which is generating a lot of traffic. So in short, what you need to do is you need to make sure that your description has a good explanation of what exactly the product is about, the theme, and you need to, click, like how I click right here, you just copy to clipboard. You probably don't need this many keywords, but, it couldn't hurt. It actually could hurt. That's a lot of keywords. So what I'll tell you guys is put maybe the first 15. So I'll just remove everything from under here. So how that looks is, honestly, you can even put a portion of your listing that says keywords, and kind of do that. But for keeping things timely here, I think you guys did get the point. A great way for you to start also is look at how other Etsy sellers are putting their description for the product. So how I usually do mine, guys, is I first, have a, hey guys, or hey Lego lovers, or hey coloring book lovers. That's kind of cheesy, but you can do whatever works. And it shows them what they're looking at. You are viewing an estimated 2,000 pieces of authentic, clean, sanitized Lego with minifigures and more clarifying information of what it is that they're looking at. And then these right here are all the selling points. So first you want to explain, greet the viewer. Second, you want to explain to the viewer what they're looking at, and then the benefits. So the benefits, so this is really kind of where you either make or break the sale. And of course, your pricing will help having great pictures. And as you can see here, you're looking at how I've listed my Etsy listings. So that is pretty much how to structure your Etsy listing posts. So here, let's just go through it really quickly. So the first thing is have a great title. And what does that mean? So the first part of the title, you wanted to actually explain what is the product that they're looking at. And then I like to include benefits. So if it has free shipping or instant download, you can say that. But I think when someone's looking at a coloring book with 50 pages and it's only $2.99, it's kind of a no-brainer. And then what I like to do is I like to include keywords in the title itself. So coloring pages, adult and kid coloring books, kids coloring pages. And guys, you want to make sure this thing looks clean. You don't want it to look like spammy. I've seen a lot of Etsy listings which look spammy. Like if you see it and you're like, this looks spammy, there's a good chance that people who are looking at it also feel the same way about it. So next thing for a digital product, what you want to do is instead of physical, you change it to digital. And then, every time you do make a listing, you get charged 20 cents. So if you don't want your listings to automatically renew, what basically that means is, Etsy gives you a certain amount of time for your listing to be up. So usually I think that's like 4 or 5 months and then it renews. So if you don't want to do that, you put it in manual and, you type in what's the product that you're selling. So let's say I'm selling coloring books. There you go. Coloring books right here or digital prints. And what this does is now this listing is put into 3 different categories. So right here on Etsy, like how we talked about earlier, there's all these categories. And the more categories you're in, there's a better chance for you to be found. So make sure when you're clicking it, you're putting it in categories which are good, which will give you a lot of traffic. And then you can usually skip all these. Like if this is optional, I mean, if you want to, I guess go ahead and add them. But, fill out that description, whatever it is that the product that you're selling. But guys, there's one more major key here. And the major key is these things called tags. So, you know how I said SEO really is the way for you to compete on Etsy and really crush. And tags are keywords. So this is how you show the Etsy system that, if someone types in coloring book and you have a tag that says coloring book, it kind of links those two. So what I do is I go on keywordtool.io and I click the top 13 keywords, or you can even do these by yourself. Like it's really not that hard. So like if you want to make them up like animal or dogs or cute, depending on who's your audience. I don't really like to do this because I don't really know what sells. So what I like to do is I just copy, if it's related to the listing that I'm doing, enter. Okay, so I guess the coloring books, you can't enter more than 20 characters. Just coloring books. Great. And then now I go to just adult stress. Disney. So you add about 13 of them. And what that does is, again, so that links the listing to either a potential audience or someone who wants to buy your product. So next, what you want to do here is you put your price, and there's no charge, guys. So let's say it's $1, all right? And there's no charge for having I think the maximum is 1,000 products quantity that you can put. So you can usually put something like 90 or 100 or 200. There is no additional charge for that. And the next thing that you can do is you can upload your files directly into Etsy. So you just click upload file, and it can be any one of these files that you have. So for example, if it's your design bundle, you can just drag and drop the PNG into here. So this is how people, when they buy a product, get access to the file. So that is pretty much an overview on how you can set up your listing. As far as photos, the listing pictures. So if someone lands on your page, where do you get all these pictures? Super simple solution. So, I mean, I don't know if it's super simple, but it is possible. So you go on this thing called canva.com. So canva.com lets you create your own, custom listing images. So let me see if I can find some samples here. So I'm going to browse all. Okay. So you can go through here and find a template which kind of is related to your product. I'm just trying to, but anyway, you can just click create a design. Like here, and what this lets you do is it lets you set up all, you can change and customize the words. You can upload pictures. If you can't, but honestly, when you're buying on designbundles.net, you can just copy and paste those images into here, or you can just download them and post them. So, that does seem like a lot of work, and I like to delegate as much things as possible. So again, you can go on Fiverr and place this order with Emily if you guys want to outsource getting your products listed. So that is a pretty long video on how you can set up your listings, but I hope this was helpful. Now I'm going to show you on the back end, once you have your listings up, how you can promote those listings so that you can start making more sales as soon as possible.